Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Footy Show daily here live on Patreon. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, come and join us on Patreon if you want to get involved. If you want to watch this show live. The link is in the description. Look, Baz, he's on there. He's like one of those fellas on Sky Sports who's pretending that he's actually got sources and he's not just reading Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter.
No, I didn't say you were doing that. I said that's what they look like.
They are.
That's what they look like.
Okay.
He's busy in a way. I don't know what he's doing.
Just getting any headlines.
Go on then. What's going on in the world of football today? What is the breaking news?
The breaking news is I thought we were going to talk about the Premier League last night. I thought we'd start.
Go on, start. What do you want to
breaking
start with?
news is ex-Arsenal youth striker joins Montpellier for 5.7 million. That's breaking.
Who is it?
Steffi Mavididi joining Montpellier from Juventus for 5.7 million.
Okay.
He should be at Arsenal. Everton have signed Niels Mukunku from Marseille today on a free transfer. A young left back, that was good. Lords have said that, past the thing, saying they recommend betting sponsorship to be ended on the front of football kits, which is something you said the other week you thought was coming. So that's a recommendation now that we won't see that.
It will happen, but it'll just push.
Be like phased out.
It'll be pushed to.
It'll be betting partners, but it won't be.
It'll be pushed off the front of shirts, and I think football's been. I think some Everton have obviously understood this,
it was
but what I would say is though they'll have to come up with some, and I think we've seen this with Paddy Power last year with the Huddersfield sponsorship and the sponsorship of a few other teams. They will have to be very, very creative because they'll want to be out there, they want to be the presence, want to be online, they'll want themselves known that they're the sponsor, but at the same time they're going to have to come up with some very creative ideas because there are a lot of football clubs sponsored by betting companies. So, and it's almost like the de facto sponsorship if like
you can't get one.
You can't get one. It's like, get a betting one. Just get a betting one.
Should be phased out on Premier League and Championship clubs by 2023. This season, half of the Premier League clubs and 17 of 24 Championship clubs are sponsored by bookmakers. The recommendations are part of a 192-page report. There should be no, the Lord's recommendations said there should be no gambling, advertising in or near any sports ground or sports venues, including sports programs.
Interesting. None of the I was going to say none of the top clubs really have that, but
Spurs have though, haven't they? Spurs have had loads of
I know
big money.
But I suppose it can be. I was just looking there because I think King Power is. I'm sure that's got a betting arm to it, but I think it's also got other things. So it'll be interesting to see if they can.
They'll have them as their partners, but they don't have to have everything emblazoned everywhere, do they? So they'll still be involved in it. But that's quite an interesting story, really, because if they've got to get it off the front of shirts within 3 years, and a lot of those clubs, like I just said, have got them. Interesting, isn't it? Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, said stopping League 1 this season was a massive error. It showed an obvious lack of leadership, says the Lyon president. It was stopped on March the 13th because of the pandemic and never resumed.
No.
He said that, he can't believe it's a massive, such a massive error. All of the top, other European leagues have returned. Above all, we're going through a dramatic period for French football now, and it's going to be deprived of its revenue.
I suppose the counter to that is it's all about your culture, isn't it? And I think France is a pretty big country, so you've got and apart from like 2 or 3 clubs, the rest of the clubs are not particularly like big clubs. And I just wonder what the TV deal against the testing process money fees would have worked out at. Like somewhere like Scotland, I wonder if it'd been similar. I mean, don't get me wrong, a club like Paris Saint-Germain could have bankrolled everything, really, if they'd wanted to. But they didn't seem too concerned when it was all wrapped up. And they'd already won they were so far ahead, they'd already won the league. And you would have thought it would have been in their best interest with the Champions League, because obviously they got through. But they didn't throw any weight, and it's interesting that you just wonder, don't you? Like, did they see an opportunity? Did they think, oh, well, maybe the Champions League, we can play it somewhere abroad, like we spoke about at the time? So it's interesting that they didn't put much of a fight up. And if they didn't put much of a fight up, who else is going to put a fight up? I mean, you got the Lyon president there, but how much of a fight did they put up? So
they were against it right from the off, weren't they? Because obviously PSG were awarded the title. But they're still in the last 16 of the Champions League, don't forget. So what he's saying is by the time they go back and play against Juventus in the second leg in August, they're saying like Juventus will be much more prepared than we are.
Yeah.
What they're saying is if they go out, failure to progress could see them lose about 70 million euros for next season. So it's going to be really difficult for teams like that. They're worried about, obviously, they might have to lose Moussa Dembele and Memphis Depay in the transfer window to try and cover the hole, what they're going to lose. So
interesting. But I suppose the argument might be, though, that they'll be much more prepared to start the season properly. Season.
Yeah, but they're winning.
No, I know.
And the other thing is, don't forget, if it's the way the Champions League is, because if they can get past Juve, then they're in the quarters. They're all one-off games.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
The 3 games are one-off, and when you've got
But they're not beating Juve, no. Not a chance.
Can't see it, but if they did, when you've got Depay and you've got Moussa Dembele, you've got half a chance, haven't you? So, very, very interesting. Christophe Dugarry has apologised after branding Lionel Messi, a kid who's 1.5 metres and half autistic, during an explosive rant about the out-of-form Antoine Griezmann. Christophe Dugarry, a 1998 World Cup winner with France, was speaking to French outlet RMC Sport about Griezmann, who is out of favour with Barcelona manager Quique Setien after he appeared for just 2 minutes in the 2-2 draw with Atletico Madrid. His future is reportedly in doubt, but Dugarry's reference to Griezmann's relationship with Barca skipper Messi, which resulted in criticism from the former Barcelona and Birmingham man Dugarry.
I mean, there you go, Barcelona.
RMC have now reviewed and removed the foul mouth section from their podcast. Dugarry has issued an apology. What a terrible thing to say about anybody. Weird that.
But that we spoke of Griezmann yesterday, didn't we? But clearly, we know the relationship isn't there because Messi wanted Neymar back and they bought Griezmann instead. I seen a little comic. It was a little cartoon of him yesterday, or it was last night. It was Griezmann. It was like Griezmann, like a car, like is it the little prince? And he's like sitting on top of the world, and it said something like you had the moon, but you wanted the stars or something. And the kids are sitting there all depressed, like it, Griezmann. And we spoke about that yesterday. When he was at.
Should he have made a better choice? Remember, wasn't it Manchester United? He said he was nailed on to join.
He was supposed to, wasn't he? But I suppose if Barcelona come calling, the only problem is with going to Barcelona is he was never the first choice. And Messi had his heart set on Neymar coming back, and therefore straight away, if Messi rules the roost there, who's to say though, if a new manager comes in, it won't change. But then it mightn't change if Messi's there. But I think. I think the problem is that he's made that move at a critical part of his career, and it could have just like completely.
I think if he was 24, he should have made the move. He moved at 28, right? Established, fantastic player, World Cup winner. We watched the documentary about him. It's decent. It's a bit of fluff, but it's decent as well. Hell of a player. But if he'd have gone to someone like United, I think they'd have focused more on him.
And it'd
be the number one striker.
You have to, for him, you have to be either the absolute number one or like completely interlocked into what they're doing. Like you have to be a certain starter at that stage of your career, or you have to be the biggest player. And I think that was the problem. You know, that's why Neymar went to Paris Saint-Germain. Number one player, everything's going to be there for you. You didn't anticipate like Mbappe coming in and sort of not knocking him off his perch as such. He makes him a better team, and I just think that's where, and that Griezmann did have it all at Atletico Madrid. He was the number one player.
Champions League every year.
But the question is, it's ambition, isn't it? And a lot of people criticise Messi for what Griezmann's done, which is, you know, so you're dead comfortable with being at one club. Where Griezmann's gone,
no, not that.
I want to go and win something.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have gone to bat. Well, no, I am. What I'm saying is sometimes when you move, you have to look at the whole thing. And you look at people, I mean, we've seen it with Phil Coutinho, was doing well at Liverpool, had a couple of clubs. Barca was the only one willing to pay the money, but he had a couple of clubs he could have gone to if he really wanted to. And he went to Barca, which is fine, because he was at a good age. But he's gone to Barca and they've moved the goalposts when he got there. Yeah. Griezmann, looking at Suarez, they've got Messi. They were always going to play. Dembele's there.
It's a fantastic cautionary tale that we keep seeing, though. I know we said there was something last week about Richarlison looking at these players at going to these clubs and not making it. Yeah. You know, we've just seen Arthur leave. I know he's gone to Juventus. And how many times have we seen, now Malcolm went, how many times have we seen players go to the likes of Real Madrid, go to the likes of Barcelona, it not work out? Those clubs don't have any patience, don't have time to develop them, and therefore what happens is they were dead comfortable with the club they were. And Griezmann's like the next level up because he was at a Champions League club. And it's funny because I think we spoke about Lewandowski yesterday as well, and the same thing could have happened to him. It's actually what's one of the most staggering things about Benzema's career at Real Madrid, that I think everyone expects him to be kicked out after 2 years because he didn't fit the image, and yet he's been there longer than anybody. So you've got to have the whole picture in your head, like you said there, when you move. You've got to, but listen, that doesn't obviously warrant what Christian Dugarry has said about Messi. So no, it's just the whole thing's Barcelona are in a mess. Yeah, they're in no matter what, they're in a real mess. Jurgen Klopp should sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that's according to Stephen Warnock, as he did us on a new contract. Shedrin Shaqiri has been slammed in his homeland, Switzerland. There are people there saying he isn't a champion. Played six games. Scored 1 goal against? Hello.
These are just news headlines today. Obviously, Steve McManaman saying managers need to be given longer. Look what Klopp's done. He was given, and they backed him. Thinks managers are just sacked too easily. I mean, Jurgen Klopp is a very good manager.
I think you've got to see something every year from them, though, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to see tangible progress.
So obviously, Premier League last night, obviously Everton beat Leicester 2-1. We had a victory for Arsenal at home against Norwich, 4-0. But obviously Bournemouth getting beat 4-1 at home by Newcastle is do you know, something like Newcastle have scored 12, was it 12 or 20?
Away goals or something, yeah.
No, something like 20% of their goals in the lockdown games.
Oh yeah, but they were terrible. They hardly scored away. Steve Cook's come out and said we played like kids. It was embarrassing. They locked themselves in the dressing room for crisis talks.
Round our way said in the comments, do you think Bournemouth have enough to stay up, and what do you think will happen to Eddie Howe if they go down? No, I don't think they have got enough to stay up. I think they're awful. I think the goal scorers that he had last season have stopped scoring goals this season. Ryan Fraser, who I just don't rate one whatsoever, hasn't done anything this season. Now he's left. I think their transfer policy is absolutely terrible. The prices they've paid. I mean, Dominic Solanke, my God, there must be, Liverpool's accountant must be laughing their head off at Jordan Ibe and Dominic Solanke.
And the other kid, that Brad Smith, they paid $8 million for, never play for Liverpool.
Their transfer policy is woeful, and that's got them where they are. They've got an aging defence. The goalie was never settled till he brought this young lad in. A very, very poor side, and what I would say is, the only thing I would say is, if you look at the league table right now, they're not cast adrift. They're on 27 points, which is the same as Villa.
What West Ham were on 27 for last night?
They're on 30 now, obviously. Watford are on 28. So they're not out of it. If they could somehow win 2-3 games, I know the likelihood of that is very, very slim, because I think, is it 15 games now without a win, something like that?
It will be, yeah. Go to Man United at the weekend.
So they are in a right mess.
Yeah.
And what do you... He'll stay with them if they went down, wouldn't he?
I don't see the value for them to get rid of him if he goes down. He's brought them up. He took them through the leagues. He got them promoted. They stayed in the Premier League for 4 seasons or something like that. And this year it's been too much. The problem with Eddie Howe was the same problem with Roberto Martinez. And I said it at the time when we get Martinez, and I've said it to you loads of times with Howe. If you're a manager and your defence concedes 70 goals and plus every season, and you can't fix that problem, then you're not a very good manager. No point. But it's no point going, well, we have 500 passes a game. Doesn't mean a thing. Fix the back door. Stop letting goals in, and you might win football matches. And he's never ever deviated from it, and he's never been able to correct it. And that's the issue with him. And Bournemouth are just short now. I really like Josh King, but he should have moved a couple of years ago. He's gone past it. Now, Callum Wilson I've never got. I know he scored a few goals, but I've never really got him. To me, just looks like an average Premier League strike, one of those strikers that has a good season, but he's average. Ryan Fraser went off the boil, like you said, and is now one of those players who today he's free, isn't he? So he'll be sat at home, I guess, waiting for Jurgen Klopp to ring him or something and take him on a free, because that's probably what he's hoping for. Or Arsenal, whatever. So Bournemouth they got gradually worse and worse through it, and Howe hasn't arrested that slide. I hope they do go down, because I'd be going to try and get David Brooks, because I think he is one of the few who's very, very good.
He's a good player, very good player.
For them, I don't see any point getting rid of him, though. Let him go into the Championship and bring some young players back through.
Listen,
I think if he goes, who would take him?
They're a small club that have done very, very well to get in the Premier League, and have
11,000.
But the money they've wasted on dross, that's got to. What I would be doing if I was them is I would be looking at the recruitment department completely, and I'd be looking at it and going, hang on, how can we afford, especially now? And someone's put a question, I'm coming to it now. How can we afford? Well, surely we could have done a lot more with a lot less. If we'd used our heads, if we'd decided we were going to implement and this is the problem with the Premier League, isn't it? Is that people get in and they go, and this is why I'm glad Norwich have got this got this sort of common sense thing about them, and Sheffield United got a common sense thing about them as well. But teams get in and go, oh, look at all the money, oh, let's Scrooge McDuck and dive straight in, whereas clever teams go, well, the money's there, but we could build our club over years if we have a clever transfer structure. And what's even more embarrassing for these clubs is, it's not like this thing has just come out of the blue. There's loads of blueprints out there that they could just go and have a look. And there's clubs all over Europe who survive, who are small clubs.
The way the French do it. France produces.
Do you know the other thing about it as well is, where Bournemouth have come unstuck, I think, as well is they don't sell players. Like you just said, they don't sell players. Now, I think you've got to be brave enough as a club to say, when a Josh King or a Ryan Fraser are in 2 years left of their deal, or a David Brooks, whoever, you've just let them go. You sell them, and then you reinvest. And you the way your transfer policy works means that you can do that. And if you, I mean, at the end of the day, who are Bournemouth fans to sit there and go, we're not selling any of our best players? And what happens is, like you just said, the value is fantastic. You're talking about, was it Josh King 2 seasons ago, Chelsea? And they were talking about 30, 40 million for him?
We inquired about it for 26 million.
But
and they wanted 50. And
surely for 30 million, Josh King, maybe West Ham or Tottenham or Arsenal at the time, or whoever, Chelsea, you go, sad. We'll just go and get the next one from the Championship, bring them through, and maybe have a little look in Europe and get the next one there as well. But they've done it the other way around. Yeah. They've gone out spending the money, looking for the next best thing when it's the dross.
The problem a team like Bournemouth might have, and I don't want to disrespect Bournemouth, but what's their goal? Is their goal to get into Europe and play in Europe and be a team that's trying to get in the Champions League? Is it? Because if it is, it takes a lot of work and a lot of money to do that. Right? If that's like the hope that, and for fans that'll be the aim, because why wouldn't you? And I'd never tell any Bournemouth fan not to dream, because you should be dreaming that. But as a club, you've got to be responsible and go, right, okay, we know how to invest. Look at take a Liverpool, right? They've had to sell. Yeah. They're now champions, but they've had to sell. They had to sell Suarez. They had to sell Coutinho. They've sold others in the past because they've had to, but they've reinvested it really well. So on a lesser scale, that's what the likes of Bournemouth should have done. Josh King, Callum Wilson, and Ryan Fraser were their three big players. They could have probably got 25, 30, 20. They could have got 70, 80 million for those three, and that could have been put back in, like you say, with lads from the Championship or lads from Europe, got in and built it, and also offer young players a pathway into that.
Look at David Brooks is the perfect one. You go and find more of him, and I think, for me, I think they've just made an absolute mess of it. And you look at like someone like Southampton, they've done that, and it's worked part of the time. Not always worked, because I don't think they've reinvested it well enough. But they went out looking for talent. They had a way of doing things. They sold it, and
Leslie's gone as well.
And they've had a little bit of a transition, of course they have. But the way they've done things is completely
wrong. Look at the likes of Red Bull Leipzig in Germany. I know they've got money behind them. I know that. That's it, though, but they got Ralph Rangnick in, who's a very intelligent man, knows football. He sorted their club
Red Bull Leipzig, by the way.
No, RB Leipzig. I know Red Bull's gone. RBL in Germany. And they got Rangnick in, and Rangnick is very good and has just looked and sorted them out. And they get good players. They're looking around. He was trying to get in Conqueror, Everton had just got. They were trying to get those players. Bournemouth, a club like Bournemouth, that should be the model they build on and go, this is how we're going to do it. We play nice football, but we're going to scour Europe for these younger players. We bring them in. If Eddie Howe's this great coach, which they think he is, then he'll be able to integrate them, and we'll just keep making our money. And you know what? There's nothing saying that haven't done that and continue to invest. You don't become better, and be up there anyway, rather than going, we'll pay £30 million for Dominic Solanke, who is crap.
He's garbage.
Let's be honest, he was never, he's an average champion, he's probably a championship player.
He is absolutely garbage.
And they've ruined what was good about them. Whereas you've got to, like Villa, another one who were in big trouble, Aston Villa. You know, they're third from bottom. They've spent stupid amounts of money, and now they're saying that if they get relegated, the club's wrecked because they've spent that money.
Because this is the problem with the Premier League, and it's the problem, we spoke about it yesterday. It's the problem with the parachute payments as well. They need to go.
Terrible,
they need to go. You know, should be looking after all the clubs below, not just a couple. You know, 3 that have just dropped down. You know, that should. But it's just not right. Couple of questions off the back of that. Keith says, problem is that they have an horrendous running every fixture against the top 10 team. In order to gain stability and growth, you have to increase your revenue. Their ground is tiny, so that's a problem for the start. Yeah, and Keith, but that's what you should factor in, isn't it? That's where you should factor in. You can't live like a big club if you're not a big club. If you can only get 11,000 in the ground, then you have to start using your head. And there's a lot of
wage cap.
There's a lot of clubs in Europe who do this very, very successfully. Lots of them. I'm not being funny. Bournemouth could turn up at any Dutch club, and there's the model. Every Dutch club, that's the model. Yeah. Small team. How do you survive? You survive by creating players, and then sell them, and then get the. Some of the biggest French clubs do it. They don't matter. What they do is they have a well, and they keep going to their well, and then they bring them through, and then they get them go. And I think what the problem is it's this notion that's been created everywhere in the Premier League that you can't be a selling club. You can't. Whereas in Europe, they embrace it. They like, you know, we spoke about it loads of times. You know, Davy Klaassen going back to Ajax and they're all like, oh, well done, you've got your move, brilliant. We're not bothered because we're bringing the next kid in. And the next kid was better than Davy Klaassen and he got a move to bloody Barcelona. So... And then the next kid comes through, and the next kid comes through, and they all know that they'll come back as well. Martin Stekelenburg's going to go back, and it's like the journey's complete, and then that person becomes a coach, and it all the knowledge and everything he's learned goes back into the club. Yeah. And that's where football clubs in the Premier League need to start being a little bit braver. And you know, we've had a couple.
If they had like a wage cap as well, and went, listen, what we're going to do is we're your pathway to a bigger club. Come and play for us for a couple of seasons, and then you'll get a move to United or Arsenal or Liverpool or whoever.
Michael Wood said, has there been any more news regarding FFP and if we'll be suspended during the next window or two to get the league spending again?
It's just what, I don't think there's going to be anything else to go with it, mate. It's being put to next season and this season will be assessed on the same thing, so Everton aren't going to be able to spend any more money.
Round our way says, do you think the smaller clubs in the Premier League will still hold out for big fees for their top players in the window even after COVID?
It depends how much they need the money, doesn't it? I think clubs will have to be sensible. I think we're seeing that. It's certainly, if you look at Everton, with obviously Gabriel at Lille, Everton won him, but Everton have said to Lille, you need to be sensible.
I think we've spoke about this week, saying that this should be the line in the sand for football to get some normal.
Schalke have come out and said their wage cap's coming.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they shouldn't be paying anyone 50 grand a week anyway, but that's their top line. No one else, one's getting
This is the chance to bring common sense back to football. Yeah. This is the line in the sand. This is where people can go, you want what for them? Hang on, we've got no money, and you've got no money, and they've got no money. So if we don't buy, you're not buying. So you should let us.
And you've got a player who doesn't want to be at your
Exactly.
club.
This is where Everton, same with Gabriel, can go to Lille and go, so you want how much? And they go, we want 30. You're not getting 30. And go, you know, if we give you this amount, but we pay it over this, then you go and speak to the player you want to replace.
Unhappy player, and you can replace him.
And that's that. It's got to have a knock-on effect.
When a club like Liverpool, who's just won the league, is saying we haven't got any money, then that should be a wake-up call to everybody.
Terry Cook says, who do you think will take the last Champions League spots? Manchester United looking strong after the restart. Well, obviously, after last night, we all thought Chelsea were going to go third place, beat West Ham. Did you see the tweet put out by the new sponsor of Chelsea? 3?
Don't talk to me about
No, I know, but you'll enjoy this because before the game they put 3. They put a picture of the kit and RT the tweet saying 3 is the magic number. Well, it is if you're West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is if you are Pellegrini Moyes.
Yeah.
And you were...
Manuel Moyes.
So 3-2, obviously. I knew West Ham were going to get one of these wins.
You did, you said.
I knew they were going to get one.
I think you said on Tuesday they beat Chelsea.
I knew they'd get one of these because they always do.
Chelsea defensively.
Lampard knows. He said after the game, you could see out his body language. But I thought that was the chance for them. But obviously Manchester United are... I
think United and Chelsea will finish in the top 4 now. I think Leicester are going the other way.
Well, certainly what we saw is that, I mean, when they first came back into Watford, we praised Vardy looked really sharp. But in the Leicester's game, he looked way off it.
Well, I just don't think they give him anywhere to go. Keane marshalled him brilliantly. They didn't create anything for him. He didn't create anything himself. And I think the problem is once you
rely on him.
Yeah, if you really, I said this all season, and okay, luckily for Leicester, he hasn't had an injury. If he'd have been injured from October, Leicester would be 10th or 11th because they're a good passing side. They've got nothing in the top end. So I honestly think you'd say at the moment that they're the outsiders to finish fourth.
Right, we're finishing there. Jim Thompson, we can't answer your question of what the best Tarantino film is.
Belter film.
Because we will... This is not the show for that, but straight after this show, in about 10 minutes, we'll be doing Live at 5, where you can ask any question you want on that show, but this is strictly football. So anyone who wants shout-outs and all the rest of it, that's for the other show. And the only way you'll get this show live and the Live at 5 is if you join us over on Patreon. Which, again, come over. you know, 2 live shows, 4 days a week, you know, or the watch along like we did yesterday. Come over, try it out for a month, see what you think. Well worth it. The link is in the description. There you go. Thank you for joining us on the Footy Show Daily. We'll see you next week. See you later.